It's been 4 years since I lost my father, and I do something for him every single year to kind of like extend his legacy. And I thought it'll make sense that I convey 3 lessons that I learned from him through the 14 years that I was able to be around him. I think, I'm still fortunate enough to have 14 years with him, and, he's made a tremendous impact in my life. I am everything that I am right now because of his, influence and his, all his teachings and whatnot. I only wonder how my life would be different if he was present especially at this stage of my life. But, sometimes, sometimes life's just not fair, and, you just have to deal with that. But regardless, I would say that the first lesson I've learned from him through the years, it is not something that he explicitly kind of like taught me, but something I've seen, is that kindness is not just a quality, but it's also a skill. And I don't think people phrase it that way because it's attached to your personality a lot, but I truly think that it is a skill. Because I've seen, like, even with my father, like, what I've noticed with him is that he was never, whenever he entered a room or whenever he entered a new setting or a new opportunity, he was never the most skilled person or the most talented person in that room, but he was most probably the kindest person in the room. And because of that, he was able to learn so much through other people, because everyone felt like someone they can invest time in. And that's why he became, who he was at the end of his career. He's one of the most successful, like, executives in, like, his own industry. And the reason why he got to that stage is because he was very polite and he was kind. And I think the reason why this lesson reinforced in my head a lot is because I was looking at the reviews that, like, my manager gave me at, like, Geotab, and what he said is that I've been extremely polite and kind with, like, all of my team members and, like, his team. And what he also said is that it's one of the most important skills in the software industry, because whatever you do, regardless of whether you sit on a computer with all day, at some point in time you're going to, like, have to interact with people and, like, associate people and have conversations with people. So if you're kind and if you're truly polite to other people, I think your growth is going to naturally increase, because, like, people are going to like root for you, support you, and also you can get support whenever you want. And it's just going to be easier to work with you when you're just a good person and when you have a kind-hearted personality. The second thing I learned through him is that consistency is the true measure of greatness. And the way I learned this was, I was in grade 2, right, and I got like first place in class. And he came from Dubai to Sri Lanka, and he gave me this Game Boy, what's it called, the Game Boy Advance. And you put, like, cartridges and you play games and stuff. But, like, it was a big deal for me when I was like 5-6 years old, obviously. And when he gave that to me, I was kind of pissed at that time when he said this, but it makes a lot of sense to me. It made a lot of sense to me even at that time, actually. But he said this, it's great that you got first place, but you're only going to be truly great if you maintain this for a long time. And obviously, like, when I was 6 years old, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I feel like I'm on top of the world when, like, you get first place on your report card. But what I understood, and obviously when I looked at his own life and what I understood from what he said, is that whatever you do, like, whatever you're doing, like, regardless of whether it's, like, academia or whether you're in industry, whether you're doing a job, whatever it is you're doing, you consistently try your best to give your best every single day. So it's not, your best isn't like on an off day, or it's just not like a once in a week kind of thing. You try every single day to be the best version of yourself in every single facet of your life. And obviously that is tiring. Like, it might not actually be practical to, like, have your best day every single day, but if that's your mindset, where, like, you're trying your best every single day to be the best that you can be, I think you go really, really far in life. Like, the impact of his consistency and just drive is just so impressive that, like, everything that I've been able to do thus far has always been because of that. I remember going to his office and just seeing, like, a CRT monitor initially and just, like, pasting sticky notes initially, then, like, 2 years later, it was this huge cubicle where he was in, and he was just like, basically bossing people around in a very nice way. Obviously, like, that's just my terminology, but I think he was one of the greatest leaders in the office. And it went to this point where, like, I met the CEO of, like, the entire, like, firm, and, like, he literally just came and told me, like, your dad's a hero. And those are the kind of moments that I look back and I kind of, like, gain inspiration, like, from, because he was always consistent and diligent throughout his life. And that's the principle that I carry every single day. Like, with whatever I do in my life, I try my best to be the best version of myself. The third lesson that I learned from him is, to do what you love and love what you do. Like, I was sitting what I remember is, like, I was sitting in the middle of, like, our car, and my mother was on the left and my dad was on the right, and I was, like, just constantly look at him with, like, all this admiration whenever I asked him about the work that he did. At that time I didn't understand the specifics. He was talking about auditing, project management, ideation, shipping products, things that I did not understand anything, but at that time at least. But what I understood, like, then, and what I really got from that is, the passion that he had for the work he did. He was truly passionate every single day about, like, the stuff he was doing and the stuff he was building at work. What I realized later on, and as soon as I grew up, is that, you have a certain amount of hours in your career, and that's going to take up a large chunk of your time. And when you really, like, love what you do, and when you do something that you like to do, the amount of success you achieve is, like, insane. Because, a lot of people, what they try to do is they chase money and fame and, like, clout, and expect those things to come right away. Like, they expect to love what they do, like, through, like, getting money or, like, getting fame. But when you do something that you really like to do, like, success and money or whatever is important that comes out of it, I think it just comes to you naturally anyway. I think with time, like, you realize that, you only need, like, a certain threshold of, like, money or whatever to, like, be comfortable and just live comfortably. And the rest is just, like, the bigger questions come down to, what impact you have and what you're contributing to, like, the rest of the world or the rest of the company or whatever you're doing, and whether you actually like going to work every single day. Those things matter much more later, in your life. And that's what I learned from him. So, like, these are, like, a few mental nuggets that I got from my father that is very relevant to, like, careers and whatnot. I will speak about more things that I learned from him, like, sometime down the line, I guess. But this is just, like, that's just a cute summary of, the things that you can get from, literally the most successful man I know. He wasn't supposed to be anywhere that he was. He really built his way up and, left a platform for, like, people like me to. I truly miss my father, and, I'm just glad that, I was able to, like, live with his presence, and I guess I turned out okay. Like, I hope he's watching, and I hope I've done good. But thank you. I hope you keep my father in your thoughts on this day. And if I've ever had, some form of positive impact in your life, just remember that, like, my father had a large role to play in that too, because I wouldn't be here without him. So, it's just celebrate his life, his presence, and just hold him in your thoughts, and that will mean the world to me. Thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed.